Yeah, so the spirit was right at the end. We won that fourth quarter 33-26. So I think some really valuable late game, end of game kind of situations for us to practice. I felt the two themes were it was again the defensive rebounding, unfortunately, and it was even though it was they finished with eight, I felt like there were many more like tip backs and just we have to keep getting better there. And what hurt us more was really the transition defense. I think those emergency transitions where we're at a disadvantage, especially when you got multiple hot shooters on the floor. We have to get back out to the three instead of running into the paint. And they did a really good job exploiting that. But, credit to Minnesota. They're a really good team. We definitely gave a much better showing of ourselves compared to last time we were here. We got better as a team. We'll learn from this one and carry some things over into Dallas.
Questions, Nick? The floor is yours.
Thanks, guys. Alex, obviously, this past week, or I guess the last couple of games, without Megan, she's been such a huge part of the offense. And I guess not necessarily like her sort of rebounding numbers, but just her ability to stretch the floor, force other bigs out of the paint. I guess how can you speak to what is the strategy when someone like Megan is just not around? And I guess can you speak to Sarah's growth in that role that you give now that you've given her a lot more responsibility?
Yeah, Nick. So, we never like making excuses, but obviously, like, down two rotational players tonight, important rotational players in Meg and Carly. And I felt, we saw that at the end of the third when they went on a run and extended it to 15 points. I think we had to do it, though. Just the last trip of a really taxing road schedule for us. And you could see our starters literally empty the tank. They gave it their all tonight. And, we needed those minutes from our second unit, and I think you feel it when you're two rotational players down. But what a great opportunity for other players to step up, and I was really pleased with Jordan's minutes. And then I think obviously with Meg, I think I really see a value in shooting bigs in this league. I think we've exploited that a lot, and I think it's a really tough scheme to prepare for defensively. So, Meg is so valuable there with the gravity she's creating and, the pick and pop game that we're able to get to within our pick and roll spacings. But, Sarah obviously had an awesome game against DC. There were some good things for her tonight. She's young, she's a rookie. There's lots of learning that we'll look at on the film of her tonight and get better at.
There's been a lot of games this year where Bridget kind of has been offensive. Defensively, she's just kind of a cornerstone of the team. Offensively, there's sometimes been games where she kind of like is happy to kind of blend in with the background. Carla takes over. Megan has good games. Bridget will finish with like 8 points in the game here and there. Today when you guys were just really struggling with the threes, it seemed that she kind of put it on herself to really step up. And I mean, what did she have? 22 points. Have you? Is that something that you've been really pushing her to like become more aggressive in her offensive part of her game?
Yeah, and I think it starts with transition, Nick. So, green light in transition. Like, she knows that a contested shot for her is a good shot for us, and I want her taking those. And then I think just, her understanding of the offense and how to create advantages within the actions. I'm so pleased with, how fast she learns. Like, she's obviously such a highly intelligent player. So I think it really is seen in all the offensive stuff in terms of how she is creating advantages based on however the defense guards her. So I think that's why she's able to find herself in good situations to take high value threes.
One more question. A couple weeks ago, you guys go into that. I think it was the Storm game. You guys have been kind of really struggling. It had been a while since you guys came away with a road win. You guys are in the middle of a really tough road trip. Played the Ace. You guys beat the Dream. Got a huge comeback win, or not comeback win, but got your win back against the Mystics, and then was an 8-point loss to Minnesota, the best team in the WNBA probably. I guess now that you have a second to like look back at this road trip, which has been kind of an Achilles heel for you guys playing on the road. how do you feel as a coach that you guys are just as a team?
Yeah, no, I think it was a really good road trip for us. I think we got better as a group. Obviously some good wins from this trip, which always helps. But I think every day we're continuing to get better, and I think obviously we want to win every game, and it's important to have that mentality. But even in a game like tonight, I think when we were down 15 against the best team in the league, it would be so easy just to kind of wave the towel and give up. And we kept fighting, we kept going, and I think if we executed in that ATO, I think it was a 5-point game at that stage. Who knows? You could have made it a 1-possession game perhaps. So yeah, no, some really good things. Really encouraged from what I saw.